Hello and welcome back to Mystery of Israel Radio. I'm your host, Tom Quinlan. We're continuing our look at the book of Daniel, following the instructions of Jesus from Matthew 24, when he said, "When you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, let the reader understand." So today we're going to set our hearts, like Daniel, to understand these things. So let's go ahead and begin reading chapter 10, verse 1. It says, "In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision." That sounds like the direction that Jesus gave to us. When you see the abomination that causes desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, let the reader understand. The time appointed was long, and he understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision. Verse 2, "In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth. Neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And in the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of the great river which is Hiddekel, then I lift up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen." A certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body was also like the beryl, or chrysolite, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone, and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. And behold, a hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto you, and stand upright, for unto you am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand, to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days. For yet the vision is for many days. And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground and became dumb. And behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. And I opened my mouth and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned unto me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, straightway there remained no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me. And he said, O man, and said, O man greatly beloved, fear not, peace be unto thee. Be strong, yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. Then said he, Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. But I will show thee that which is noted in the scripture of truth. And there is none that holds with me in these things, but Michael your prince. And then this person began from Daniel chapter 11:1 through the end of chapter 12. But let's pause here a little bit for a few things in chapter 10. First, the vision of the man, the certain man clothed in linen. This sounds very much like the vision of the Lord in Revelation chapter 1. Revelation chapter 1 verse 13 says, And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Daniel saw the Lord. Like Isaiah in chapter 6, I saw the Lord high and lifted up, and he said, Woe is me, I am undone. I am a man of unclean lips amidst a people of unclean lips. And similarly Daniel, verse 8, Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me. For my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep upon my face. And what is the man going to be talking about? Verse 14. Now I am come to make you understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days. For the vision is yet for many days. We know that this is the 3rd year of King Cyrus. Daniel chapter 9 was in the 1st year of Darius, which is very close to the reign of Cyrus. And he's already had a vision of 77s, or at least 490 years. And we're making the case that at the end of the 7 sevens and the 62 sevens, or after 483 years, which already qualifies as many days, but we're advocating that after the 69 sevens, when Messiah the Prince shall come and be cut off, but not for himself, that there's going to be a delay of many generations for the fulfillment of that vision. Daniel already knows from his previous visions, the vision of Daniel chapter 2, the 4 kingdoms represented by the statue, the Babylonians, the Medes and the Persians, the Greeks, perhaps the Romans. The vision from chapter 7, the 4 beasts that rose from the sea, representing kingdoms. multiple kingdoms that must come before the deliverance of Israel. Chapter 8, 2 future kingdoms, the Medes and the Persians, the Greeks, future kingdoms that will rule and oppress the people of God before the fulfillment of all these things. And Daniel chapter 9, again, at least 490 years. And we're making the case that after Messiah was cut off, but not for himself, by his chosen people, that there would be a delay, 2 days, the 2-day delay of Hosea chapters 5 and 6. I will return and go to my place until they acknowledge their offense. In their affliction, they will seek me early. Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, and he will heal us. He has smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us. On the 3rd day, he'll raise us up. Daniel chapter 10, verse 14. I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for the vision is yet for many days. We've also learned from this chapter that there is literally war in heaven over these things. The principalities and powers do not want God's people to understand. And apparently, if Daniel is the pattern, and we believe he is, the emptying of strength is the criterion for receiving this revelation. Verse 8, my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Verse 16, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spake and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned against me, and I have retained no strength. Are you being weakened today? Be encouraged. Be strengthened. His strength is made perfect in weakness. Revelation of the things of God comes when we are weakened. He has chosen the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. We know for sure that God is bringing Israel to this place of weakness, to reveal to them, to pull back the veil of strength, and to reveal to them the Messiah they have rejected. And if he's bringing his ancient people to that place, will he not also bring you to that place? Are you yielding to his heart? Are you seeking his face like Daniel? Do the unfulfilled promises of God in the Bible bother you, cause you to humble yourself and seek him? We'll look more at these things next time on Mystery of Israel Radio.